Welcome back to BrainScratch Talkie Thingies. We're back in the evil forest.
No more grinding! Yay!
Nope.
There's this random FMV crossfade thing that sort of reminds me of Legend of Mana and how it happens, but whatever.
It's supposed to be spooky foreshadowing about the spooky
The plant
boss.
brain doesn't look half that menacing in the actual fight.
In fact, it sort of loses everything when you fight it.
It's like they couldn't render out all the plant tentacles around it, so they just did that middle flower thing for the boss fight.
Yeah, but that's the place I was talking about. Like to the left of that room that Ryan just passed by, you can just find this random river waterfall background. Zidane comments on it and just goes back.
I like how Zidane's entire reasoning for looking for a boss monster in this forest is genre savviness. He knows there's got to be a leader monster that they have to kill.
The thing you can steal from this thing is an iron helmet, if I remember correctly.
Oh, I got that.
I believe so.
Yeah, and you want to get that for Steiner because that gives you the level up ability.
And you want to
really-
put that
would you-
on him?
You want to equip that because everybody gets boosts from that, I believe.
Everybody?
I
No,
believe
it's just him.
I'm pretty sure I read somewhere
level up
that
is one of those.
It doesn't so much give you more experience. It more so it lowers the experience requirement to level up for that character.
The thing is, everyone learns the level up ability in this game. It's one of the abilities that everyone shares. So if you find a piece of equipment that happens to have it, that isn't character specific, you can swap it between every character that can equip that piece of equipment and learn it that way. Unfortunately, the iron helmet and iron armor, heavy armor, that kind of stuff, is pretty much limited to just Steiner. So in this case, it's only for him.
Yeah.
Now, I know that you shouldn't bother curing blindness on Vivi because he uses magic anyway. You're getting really lucky hitting with Steiner, though, when he's blinded.
I was going to comment on it myself because I got inflicted with darkness myself during my playthrough, and I was missing up the wazoo.
Yeah, well, Steiner, I think, has a pretty high accuracy rating with his attacks, so that might be something to do with it.
Yeah, I
Because-
never had any problem with blindness with Steiner ever.
Blindness doesn't completely shoot your accuracy to shit, it just gives you a penalty.
Yeah.
So if you have high enough accuracy anyway, you can just power straight through it. I kind of miss the old darkness animation that they used to have before they had this generic black foggy thing.
Oh, the sunglasses?
Because I would have liked to see all these characters with shades on.
Deal with it.
Well, the icon in the menu is still sunglasses, if I remember correctly. So.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And Zidane's in
Excellent.
train, so Blank's gonna have to be my stealer.
Yeah.
Yeah, now you just let Zidane... Oh, and you know what I hate
Well, no,
about trance?
because I put in steel before he went into
Yeah,
trance.
if you use an ability before your trance triggers, you lose a whole half a bar.
Yeah.
And,
Everything
you know,
everything
It
decreases your
perplexes
transmitter.
me. It perplexes me that they forgot that they didn't make a failsafe for that, because they did in Final Fantasy VII. If you happen to use an ability and then limit break triggers while that ability is still in the queue,
There you go. I got the Iron Helm.
yeah, what will happen is your character will just get an instant ATB boost all the way to full activity right after they use that ability, so you can use your limit break right away.
Yeah. At the very least, gives Zidane like a super steal.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
you know, just one trance attack will probably finish this boss off anyway, so in this
Yeah.
case, it's not much of a problem.
Free energy, tidal flame. Was
Tidal
pretty
Flame
much.
specifically because it has a fire element.
Yes. Pretty much. If you want to have an easier time with the
Oh
battle,
my
when it
god,
comes-
you
yeah.
stole a Zidane!
Yeah.
Fail! Although, I won't...
Not like
I
this
won't
boss is tough.
I won't riff on you too hard for it, because sometimes
I did die the first time I played this game to this boss. Because I kept on trying to steal with Zidane, and I had to juggle to keep his health up. And everybody... and he just kept on ganging up on one person, and it didn't go well. So...
Yeah.
Eyes to noob.
When
There-
bosses do that, it can be really...
Yeah,
fucking-
Zidane should be stealing, Vivi should be casting black magic, Steiner should be using his sword magic. I know you've been pretty lax with that.
More so, I knew it was going to take a while to get the Iron Helm, so I was more so whittling him down so I
Well,
could finish him
another thing you
quickly.
can do is that you can start the battle off by casting fire magic.
Yeah,
and
I
all
learned
that.
Minus Strike.
Yeah, you can cast fire magic and such until Blank shows up, because now with Blank in your party, now you have two characters that can steal. So I would just wait until Blank shows up before you start going all loot happy.
And he will only show up after you do a certain amount of damage on the boss. Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Minus Strike, the ability that Steiner just learned, is actually really useful early game.
For the stupid book.
And consistently useful fairly on. But only if you're willing to play dangerously, because it does damage based on the difference between your current HP and your max HP.
Yeah, I'm
Which
too
means
much
you
of a
can do
wuss to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you abuse the hell out of it, you can do a fuck lot of damage per turn with that ability.
Especially early game.
Early on.
That was actually one of the ways that I really liked to play Bravely Default. Was there was the Black Mage, I think, had an ability like that, and I would set it up so that he'd do like 3 of those in a row, and then the White Mage would cure him right after that. So
yeah. We got ore from these guys. That's actually something that you should stock up on here.
What is
Just a little bit.
What does it do? I read in the menu that it'll only heal you during like battles or something.
You're not using ore for...
You need it for a side quest later.
Yeah, you're not using ore for yourself.
Here's the thing about... there are a lot of jewel items and ore items, that kind of thing. And you'll need to collect them for the friendly monsters, because they'll say, give me ore, give me this, give me that. And if you give them that item, they'll go on their merry way. And this builds up to a side quest that you can use to weaken the super boss, Ozma.
Yeah. It later on becomes pretty much a trading item side quest, like, because the friendly creature will give you the next jewel that you need to give to the other friendly creature.
Only if you do it in order, which I unfortunately
if you do it in order,
don't.
yes.
If I unfortunately don't because I lost order.
Who did you miss out on first?
I forget. I did someone out of order. So
Yeah.
Just showing us one fight against the plant spiders?
Yep.
Well, we did spend 10 minutes last time running in circles, so I would hope so.
You know what I did the first time I played? I didn't run. I just kept fighting.
So did I.
I figured, well, they have to stop coming eventually, right? Wrong. Wrong.
The whole
wrong.
force is coming after you, Zidane.
I kind of thought it was like when you were running from the Shinra soldiers at the beginning of Final Fantasy VII, where there's a limited number of battles that you can fight, and you might as well fight them all because easy XP.
In that case, if you're going to compare it to something in 7, when you jump out of the train and you go to that security checkpoint south of the train tunnels, you can find guards there, and you can keep fighting them over and over again for actually pretty easy experience.
Well, you see, I didn't know that because I never went south in the train tunnel, and I also never failed the train section.
Does this piece ever come back again?
This sequence, this song, I think it's called Run.
This theme is actually the generic "hurry up, go fast, you're in trouble" theme that this game brings back a couple times.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like the clock ticking theme for Final Fantasy VII, since we're on that subject.
Okay.
I think like all 3 of the PlayStation Final Fantasies have a generic hurry up theme.
Most
on.
RPGs do. It's just
but for the life of me, I can't remember it from Final Fantasy VIII, mostly because I can't remember most of the themes in Final Fantasy VIII if they aren't battle themes.
No, I have no problem doing that with 9 specifically. You give me a track out of context in 9, and I can probably tell you where it's from or where it plays in the game.
Yeah.
Quick, sing the song for...
Oh god, the load times. You know, somehow when you're not playing the game, the load times before battles are a lot more of a problem.
No,
well,
they were at this point, they're my biggest sticking point because I found myself checking my phone a lot while I was playing while the game loads up, because I counted it's a good 10 seconds, which sounds petty out of context, but when you're playing a game, it's a long time.
Well, it's two things. One is how long the battle takes to load, and every battle begins with a dynamic look around. Like, oh, look at the arena you're look at the arena that you're fighting in.
There's a swoosh, a fade to black, and then a dynamic camera pan, and it takes...
Yeah.
And, depending on the ATBs, it can be like a good 12 seconds before you actually get control of somebody, so...
Yeah, but you know what the thing about that is? All 3 of those things, the swoosh, the black screen, and the dynamic camera swooping, are masking loading times. Because they need to load in the monsters and your party and everything. Oh, you got a card. Good job.
It's just like in this game, especially with that encounter rate that I mentioned earlier, it adds up.
Yeah.
And you're getting... I think out of all the Final Fantasies, this is the Final Fantasy where I run away from the most in terms of battles.
Oh man, you poor fool.
Something is wrong.
But, Final Fantasy IX is like the only Final Fantasy game that I can go back to and just breeze through. So the load times aren't that big of an issue for me.
No,
but it depends. But I say it's more of a problem when you're not playing because you're not in the heat of actually playing. So it feels more tedious to me.
And I still end up getting myself lost in this. I love this game no matter what.
Zidane, use flee now, now.
I'm dropping all of my savings.
It's just something you have to expect when you're going back to a game from the PlayStation. It's gonna have load times. It's like,
yeah, that was the thing that CD consoles had over that people argued for cartridges in favor of. Cartridge games didn't have load times, or at least they didn't until certain games started having them.
No, they were just shorter, because like when I'm playing Banjo-Tooie, there's definitely a load. It's just 2 seconds long for most areas, as opposed to like 5 or 10. Because it's just I'm not a tech person, but I guess it's just easier for a system to read data off of a cartridge than a disc, because it doesn't have to do any laser stuff.
Because it basically treats the cartridge like part of its own hardware.
Okay.
Oh man, Blank got stoned.
Bastard! He said he was gonna do it with me. He's not recovering from that for a while.
Well, we did run into an awful lot of weed there.
It's interesting because they drop this plot for like the entirety of Disc 1, and then it becomes like your focus during Disc 2.
What, getting Blank back?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I mean, they were friends, so I'm not surprised that they'd want to get him back, but, you know.
Yeah.
It's not even important to the plot. It's just something you do as a side because he's your friend.
It's actually something Garnet does when she goes off on her own, which is surprising because she doesn't know Blank.
Well,
but she's just grateful that he saved them. So she helps Marcus out finding the thing that they need to cure him.
Is it a side quest or is it an actual plot thing?
No, you have to do it to get through Garnet's section of Disc 2.
Okay. All right. I guess I'll see more when I get to that point. Then.
Who's fitting in that tent?
Phoebe.
Bitch.
Speaking of tents, there's something hilarious about the tent item in this game. You can use it in battle.
Wait,
yeah,
you can.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you can. You can use the tent in battle. It will heal your entire party, but it also carries a small chance of snake bites causing poison.
What?
Yeah, there was a snake in your tent.
There's a snake in my tent.
Okay,
I have no idea
I
what the logic of using a tent in battle is, but it's a surprisingly useful fallback option.
I'm normally like not one to call too much attention to the gentlemanly RPG combat. Oh, we're gonna take turns, but I draw the line at, okay guys, hold on a minute. We can fight a little bit in just a second. I'm gonna go take a nap in this tent right here.
Yeah, but it's the only real healing item in this game that you can use regularly right up until the end of the game, and that's kind of important in this game because you only have 2 characters with white magic. And I wind up, and because I need to heal so much by the end of the game, I wind up using 2 of my party slots just for them.
No, it's either one or the other, never both.
Yeah, never both for me.
Yeah.
And I tend to use Garnet because more of her offensive capabilities than Aiko's.
I was Team Garnet early on. Now I'm strictly Team Aiko, if only because I think decent healing ability transcends everything. Because I'm doing enough physical damage with Zidane, Steiner, Vivi, Freya, Amaranth, anybody else.
Well, what I wind up doing is using Zidane, Garnet, Aiko, and Steiner. Zidane and Steiner dishing out physical attacks everywhere.
Vivi.
Sometimes I'll switch Steiner out for Freya. But,
yeah, for a longest time, especially like my first 2 or 3 playthroughs of 9, this was my team from beginning to end. Like these 4 right here.
Well,
that's boring,
I did that.
though.
Yeah, but I did that the first time I played too, because you get really attached to the characters that you start the game out of.
Exactly.
Just because you like them.
Yeah, that's exactly why I stuck with them. In later games, I couldn't give my party name now, but we'll find out more as we continue the playthrough.